Okay, so we're going to continue thinking about, we're going to think about some angles. What I want you to imagine is standing at a point and facing a single direction, and then turning all the way around. Standing and then just turning all the way around to face the direction you're facing to begin with. We say, by definition, that we've turned through an angle of 360 degrees. 360 degrees is one complete turn, one complete revolution. And so I'm able to say that the angles at a point sum to, or add up to, 360 degrees. So in this diagram, I have 4 angles marked on. I don't know what any of them are, but I do know that if I was to add each of these angles together, I would get a sum of 360 degrees. Well, let's try to apply that knowledge to this diagram over here. I'm asked to find x. So I'm asked to find x here. I want to know what all the angles that aren't x are, and then work out what needs to be added on to make 360, or 360 take away the sum of the other angles. So here I have 110 and 140. Gets me up to 250 degrees. And here I have a square or a corner marked on. Now that's a symbol that tells me that that's a right angle, which is 90 degrees. So I'm going to add on 90 degrees here. Which means that these 3 angles sum to 340 degrees. So because the angles of a point at a point sum to 360, I'm going to do 360, take away 340, which leaves me with 20 degrees. So this angle x has to be 20 degrees. It's interesting to note that if you were to measure this with your protractor, it probably wouldn't be 20 degrees either on my board or on your exam. It'll normally say diagram not drawn accurately. And that's so we use our angle facts rather than our protractor. So we want to make sure that we know our angle facts. Here's another question based on the same angle fact. We have angles at a point, and we're asked to find x again. Now in this case, we have 2 angles that are x. And in fact, we can see they're vertically opposite, so they are equal. So let's see what the other angles add up to. So 120 plus 80 plus 30. I'll sum those. So zeros and 13, so 230. So these 3 angles add up to 330. Angles at a point sum to 360. So I'm going to do 360 degrees, take away 230. 0, 3, 130 degrees. Which means that these 2 angles together have to make 130 degrees. They're both equal. So I can half 130. Half of 130 is 65. 130 divided by 2 is 65, which means that in this case, this angle is 65 degrees and this angle is 65 degrees. We could do a final check and add these all together to make sure they came to 360. Always good to make sure we've got the right answer. So the angles at a point sum to 360 degrees. Let's use that fact to solve some problems.
Okay, Mary, so let's have a look at this one. So solve x plus 2x equals 12. So what do you think you do first?
Okay, well, I want x on its own, so I would put x equals 12 minus 2x.
Okay, so a lot of the time we want to get x by itself, but what we want to do first is get all of these x's together. So can you see anything we can do with this? Get all these together in one place.
Oh, okay, it's 3x, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
3x equals 12. Oh, and so x equals 4.
Brilliant, spot on, well done.